before this game, I saw some people saying what's going to happen with Ronald Jones. We're playing Tampa Bay next week. A lot of people thought this week was a trap game. And then looking at our run game, it's been pretty good. We haven't been giving the ball to CH a lot. But then today, the run game across the board is kind of atrocious. McKinnon had 7 carries, 20 yards, averaged 2.9 yards a carry. Pacheco, 3 carries, 9 yards. CH, 7 carries, 0 yards. He had a couple negative yards. I mean, that's the O-line there. But is there a chance that we'll see Ronald Jones, not only because it's against his old team, but because the run game is not really where it should be, I guess? There's a chance we see Ronald Jones this week?
Well, this is the thing I see with Ronald Jones. I've been big on him since they signed him. I said this is a guy that I think fits perfectly with this Chiefs offensive scheme. So to answer your question as quickly and as efficiently as possible, I really hope so, Marcus. I really hope so because I think he could really add a strong physical presence for this running back core because I think they played overall pretty well considering how shaky the offensive line has surprisingly been so far this season. But I honestly do believe that he would be right now, and I know this sounds like a hot take, I think he would be the best running back on this team. And the biggest reason why is because he's proven more than anybody else on the team. I'm a big Clyde guy. I've stood by Clyde since day one, and I think Isaiah Pacheco's got RB1 potential. And McKinnon's a very solid veteran, so I don't mean to discredit what he does because he's also really good with chipping. Those defensive edge rushers. Whenever those guys come through, you see him chip, and he's not even a big guy at all. So I don't mean to discredit what these guys do, but I think Ronald Jones would add an element to this offense that I don't really think they have on a consistent basis. And again, in Tampa Bay, even splitting reps with Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones performed and produced, and he played really well for them, especially in big games too. We can't forget that his guy was on that Super Bowl team. This guy was on that team that won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and he played well that season. And I think that Ronald Jones needs to get an opportunity. I just don't know if it's going to happen yet because I think he's that guy they're just using as this is a depth piece. If somebody goes down, because it's inevitable, it happens. It's a long, grueling season. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had injury concerns. So is McKinnon, especially McKinnon. And Isaiah Pacheco is still an unproven 7th-round pick. I think that Ronald Jones is that guy that is kind of holding in the holster, just ready to shoot him out of the gun whenever that opportunity comes. And I do hope it comes, but unfortunately, I think that opportunity only comes if somebody gets injured.
I like an assessment of it. And I think, to be honest with you, hearing you speak, Lance, I really believe that this might be the week that RoJo suits up. I really do. And I think part of it goes into possibly what Pacheco wasn't doing on special teams.
Yeah.
I didn't really see a whole lot from him, right? He wasn't really providing that spark. And so if you're thinking about running the football, how many yards do you actually have, this past week, in the past few weeks? And so I think RoJo would be a great change of pace, what you can do. I think a guy like that who's running behind his pads, who understands, who's a veteran, will be able to provide that spark for this offense. And so I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't have a problem with it whatsoever. And so if you wanted to not dress Pacheco, hey man, by all means, why not? So like I said, it's not like he's doing making stellar plays offensively or on special teams right now. And so I think that's part of the deal. It's like the importance of having Pacheco on special teams. Can you do without that guy? I don't know. But RoJo would be a great change of pace, man. I would love to see him against Tampa Bay. Not only that, but the guy will come in hungry.
Yeah.
When you telling a guy who sat and watched the last 3 games, who, like you said, all intents and purposes, who's a running back 1, now you give him a chance, he's like, look, I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm guaranteed I will run as hard as you want me to run. I'm going to play as hard as you want me to play. I'm here to make a statement. And so I think this might be the week. Sometimes you got to bring a guy out there, man, to spark the offense up. You know what I mean? Mm. So he might be that guy. I just seen like CEH. I think he did well the last 2 games. This game, he was running a little bit more, east to west, not north to south. He was trying to find – and look, and when you got smaller running backs, you can't just take your time dancing in the backfield. You just can't do it. You got to be a bigger back doing that, right? And that has a little bit more mobility and a little bit more power. And so I think right now, if you bring RoJo in, I wouldn't have a problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah. I think that going forward, like based on the way the running game was today, and then also, the fact that it is going to be a grudge match for him next week against the Buccaneers, a team that, didn't want him back. They want his services back. I think it makes all sense in the world. It gives us a spark and some kind of rejuvenated, like some new blood in there as we go forward, right?
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? I don't care what play you have. Any team that's got rid of that guy, you need to play that guy very next week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're talking about having an incentive to go out there and do well, it's always the team that got rid of you. I mean, I'm telling you, man, that sucker will run out there like the grass is on fire and there's glass out there right now. Trust me. So he might have to be that guy, man. I'm telling you that. Yo, RoJo, hey man, come on in. We shooting you up this week. He's gonna be like, oh, it's like going to school for the first day, right? So he might be ready, man. Seriously, I'm telling you, he might be that spark we need.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.